Attention, everybody. The views and opinions expressed on the show are not necessarily those of Acts Ministry, Acts Media Group, and or their affiliate and subordinate ministries and or nonprofits.
Thank you, Mr. Matt.
Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconcile. Joyful all ye nations rise, join the triumph of the skies. With angelic hosts proclaim, Christ is born in Bethlehem. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the trees are listen and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. Of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white.
And I would like to introduce to you our special guest, Miss Peggy Shores, our very dear friend from Missouri and Alabama. And I met Peggy when she is actually very famous in the Miss Senior America pageant. She was Miss Missouri Senior in 2002.
A couple years after my wife won.
Yes.
Oh, my.
He's telling a little joke there. But I met Peg in 2015.
Yes.
I met you in
that sounds
2015.
right.
And we'll get to that. But let's just start from the very beginning. Let's talk about your early days wherever you were born and raised and share with our wonderful audience. Thank you, Matt J.
is
God bless you.
usually the
God bless you.
case, Peggy is a performer and an entertainer, and she's got a great musical background. So that's kind of like a theme that we kind of run through, being Bransonites, Broadway to Hollywood
She's a
to
wonderful
Branson.
pianist
So
and singer.
that's our proclivity in life. We just love the arts. So,
We
Oh,
love
yes.
Peggy, too.
but we love the stories. Everybody has
Has
a story.
So, Peg, where were you born?
I was
No,
born in...
she's Peggy, I'm Peg. That's what we have to...
Peggy
she's
Shores.
the real Peg.
Peggy Lee Brennan.
Shores.
Jeff with a G.
Okay, so where were you born?
I was born in Lakeland, Florida.
Oh,
And,
I didn't even know that.
yeah,
That's
I'm a
wild.
Florida Gator
I didn't know
by
that.
birth. And then lived there for a while. And then we moved to Alabama because my dad went to work in the shipyard during World War II.
Okay.
I know I don't look old enough
No,
to be...
you do not. She told me you only get like 5 hours sleep. She has an exorbitant amount of energy. And you encouraged me when I found out our daughter goes to Bama and Peggy would drive. You drive like hours. You get up and drive like 8 hours because I was thinking, Jeff's like, you can drive, Helena. You can go alone. And I'm like, no, I can't. He's like, Peggy can. I can. Yes, you inspired me.
Because Helena
You
goes to
didn't even know
University
that.
of Alabama right next to where Peggy
Yes.
was.
Right.
Okay, so Florida, then you moved to Bama.
Moved to Alabama, and then we moved back to Florida after the war was over. And I went to first grade through sixth grade in Florida. At Christmas of sixth grade, we moved back to Alabama. And then I lived there through high school and university, Sanford University.
Now, you always had music in your family. You
Yes.
said. Share
We-
that.
We've always had music in our home. When I was born, my mother said she saw my little long, skinny fingers, and she said, "There's my little piano player." And she was going to have a piano for me one way or the other if she had to take in washing to buy it. So when we were in Mobile during the war, she actually did do laundry for people, and we had 3 boarders who lived with us, and they bought me a big upright piano before I was ever in school.
Wow.
And when I was about 4 years old, they put me in a singing school in Mobile. And we learned all the basic theory, key signatures, time signatures. We did the shape notes. We had to learn to do this fa sol la.
Was your mom a musician as well? Why did she have such a
She
desire for you to do that?
just loved music. They were both very musically inclined, but she wanted to take piano as a little girl, and there was no piano teacher, or they didn't have money or whatever. But they would push back the furniture in their living room and dance and do the Charleston, things like that, in her family. And she played the old spinning wheel and pieces like that,
What is that?
on the piano.
Oh,
There's an old spinning wheel in the parlor. She taught me that, to play that by ear when I was a little girl. And we
I'm
had,
sorry. What is a spinning wheel?
Song?
What is a
Yeah,
spinning
what
wheel?
is a spinning wheel?
The song, right?
This spinning wheel is a great big round wheel that spins and makes yarn, and I guess that's the spinning wheel she was talking about. But there was an old song called "There's an Old Spinning Wheel in the Parlor."
Oh,
Yes,
So-
that's
my
what I knew
gosh.
that.
Yeah. So
I knew that.
How did you know that?
Because my mother's family, my mother's mother, who had 8 children, she's from Brooklyn, well, originally from Ireland to England to Brooklyn, but I did not know this till years later, she sang on the radio, and she was Barbara Stanwyck's best friend. So a lot of old songs I grew up
And she
hearing
literally
about.
sang that song. What's it called?
I knew that
There's a
song.
spinning wheel in the
Oh.
parlor?
there's an old spinning wheel, spinning
the
tales of
tune.
the long, long ago. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about an early, version of the record player. Spinning wheel. I was like, what the heck is that?
Oh, we had an old Victrola player where we put the records on, and
Yeah.
Did you wind it up?
Yep.
Oh my
Yeah.
God!
My
that's
parents had
right.
the Al Jolson records
Oh,
and Dinah Shore, and that's
Yeah.
how I know all of
Yeah.
those oldies but
Yeah.
goodies. Okay, so then
Oh,
your
that's
brother,
awesome.
you said also, how many siblings were there?
Well, I have 3 brothers and 1 sister, and we all sing.
Yes.
All of our lives, we would have music in the house. And on Sunday mornings, Daddy would put the LPs on, and we'd have music. We'd be singing in all parts of the house as we were getting ready to go to church. So, music just always filled our home. And we would do the Regenerations. Remember them? We
No.
put those on, and all of our little children would march around the house singing, "This is the day that the Lord has made."
yes,
yeah,
yes, yes.
great. The generations.
This is the day.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
the day that the Lord
Uh-huh.
has made.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, now did they all play instruments as well?
Well, different ones have played in the band and piano at different times in their life. All of my siblings, except my oldest brother, he didn't play in the band, but 2 of my brothers played trombone. My sister played clarinet. I played trumpet in high school. Switched to French horn in college because they needed a French horn.
But you really played piano. Wasn't that what was your major? In
Well, I
college?
majored, yeah. My principal performing medium in college was piano. I
Yes,
played
yes.
all my life by ear.
That's-
And at this music school, we learned time signatures, how to direct, and we had to choose a hymn or a song to direct the audience for our graduation night on Friday night, So I was 4 years old, and I chose an old Southern gospel song, Where Could I Go But to the Lord, to direct. And they said, the story goes, I had fallen asleep on my daddy's shoulder, and it was time for me to direct the audience. They had to wake me up to put me up there.
That's like Helena when she got into gymnastics. They brought her in early because she just had her body. She's from Nepal. What did they call it? Little Sherpa body, and they didn't let anyone be on any of the teams or the beginning classes if you were still in diapers. But Helena was still in diapers, and she and driving to gymnastics, she'd fall asleep, and I'd have to wake her up. So that's
Yeah.
that's like Miss Peggy. Yeah. So so did you tour as a group? Did your family go on
No,
tour? Or,
no,
okay,
we
you
just sang in the
always sang?
home and sang at church, things like that when we were growing up. My sister and I sang all around. We'd sing at every funeral, every wedding, anything they needed music for. The
see.
music federations would have me come and play for their lovely luncheons and things.
Did she
And-
sing melody and you did harmony?
No.
Or did you go back
opposite.
and
I
forth?
did melody. She did harmony.
Okay.
Yeah. And then when my brother, Wayne, later would sing with us, and now we even still sing, he'll do tenor until he jumps down on my part, and I have to go up to tenor.
There you go. So you
Then
adjust
I go-
just like Jeff. She does the adjusting.
Oh, yeah.
I do no adjusting when we sing. I sing straight melody. I am not gifted like that with like you both are. Right?
No doubt.
Yes. Yes.
But you sing beautifully.
So
Oh, she
okay.
does.
So when you went to high school in
Wetumpka, Alabama.
Alabama.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go Indians.
Okay.
Yeah, I played piano there. I studied piano, took piano lessons in second grade for about a year, I think. And then our piano teacher moved, and I never had any piano instruction until, again, in ninth grade. But I played all through those years. I accompanied the choirs, accompanied the high school choir.
So you were gifted like Jeff's mom played by ear, but did your mom also?
Well, my mom studied, but she loved to do what her piano teacher would always say. Uh-oh, this is like in the 1930-ish and in the 30s. She says, "Uh-oh, Maureen's doing the boogie woogie again."
Oh,
Whatever she learned, she says, "I'm going to do boogie woogie," and she just play with it. And
That's right.
just
It all had the boogie woogie kind of
improvise.
flair to it.
Whatever
Yeah.
the song, it didn't matter.
yeah.
Chopin,
that was
boogie
similar
woogie.
to my daughter. You know, she took piano lessons for a long time when she was about a junior in high school. She said, I don't want to be a concert pianist. Can I just play whatever I want to play? So she sort of got out of piano then, you know, which I was sorry about that. But and I taught my son a few little things by ear, how to play things on the piano. And I had an uncle who played strictly by ear. And when I was a little girl, he'd set me on his lap and I'd watch his hands. He played everything on the black keys. And I would learn to play everything he played on the black keys. So I think that's why I love sharps so now. You know, I
So
love
interesting.
Why did he play everything on the black keys?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it was just where his hands first fell. I don't know.
That is so.
Yeah.
I've heard
Yeah.
of that before, but it's
Yeah.
amazing because
Uh-huh.
you know you think of those as being the harder key. You know.
Oh,
the
yeah,
But
yeah.
in some ways, it is easier because they sit up above the white keys. So at a certain level, it's easier.
That's wild.
Think about it.
That is
Well, I
wild.
never thought
I
about
wonder
You know
what
what? I
it sounds
just-
Well,
like.
it's easier.
I wonder what it sounds like. I'm trying to think. It's interesting because Helena, who is a bio major in college
Mm-hmm.
now,
Pre-med
and she was a dancer and gymnast growing up. She did all the shows.
and a piano player.
But yes,
Mm-hmm.
Jeff, Helena, that was kind of her recreation. Dance and academics was not recreation. That
Mm-hmm.
was intense. That was very determined and disciplined. But
Mm-hmm.
Jeff, for his Christmas gift and his birthday gift until she was 18, you know what it was? That she'd stick with piano.
Oh.
That's all he asked for.
I don't want anything. I just want you to play the piano.
And she did.
Yeah.
She
Practice.
played till 18.
Oh, that's
But
wonderful.
she has gone to college, and she's a junior. And every semester, Jeff said, "And wouldn't you like to take like one piano, just like one credit?" It's like I'm too busy studying.
You know what? Peggy is fairly local. Maybe she could pay a visit to Helena.
Fairly
once a week
local.
and give her a lesson. We'll pay. We'll pay.
But wait, where are you in Alabama? Peg has homes in Alabama and Missouri.
A little
So-
place called Equality.
Okay.
It's not too far from Montgomery, about 75 miles from Birmingham. So when I heard Helena was going to Alabama, I was down there and extended my visit to be there when they took her to college.
Yes.
So I could introduce them to my brother and his wife and family
Wonderful
who lived
Dr.
there.
Earl, who just went on to be with the Lord how many months has it been
May
now?
30th.
May
He died.
30th, and
That's
he was
right.
an amazing. Share a little bit about Dr. Earl. What an amazing man he was.
Oh, just the best big brother a girl could have ever had. Superman, just super guy.
And he was
and
a-
Christian all of his life, and a medical doctor, and
A lot of
Races.
outreach and missions.
oh
did he
yes,
do?
went on several medical missions all over the world, India, Honduras. I think they even went to Nicaragua, Haiti. He went to Haiti several times.
And he
And I was privileged to go on 2 medical mission trips with him to Honduras.
And what
yes.
did you do? Did you play the piano as he did surgery?
No, I did play the piano at one of their places where they had a little keyboard. It's a very poor country, and they don't have a lot of
Right.
extra things there.
Right, right.
But no, I registered the people, and I had a Spanish interpreter, Anthony, and we had more fun. And I took 2 years of conversational Spanish when I lived in Amarillo. I was a school teacher. We didn't have English as a second language there. So I had lots of Spanish-speaking students that would come into my classrooms. On Monday morning, they would not know a word of English. And I felt real bad for them. So they started conversational Spanish for teachers. I took it 2 years. I went every Monday night for 2 years, learned to converse in Spanish with my
Because you have a great
students.
ear, because you're a musician. You were able to learn quickly.
Yeah, right. And I love the Spanish language. I love to roll the R's and all that. And so, but I thought, oh, good. And when I moved to Oklahoma City and taught school there, I had a few Spanish-speaking students there. When I moved to St. Louis and started teaching in Parkway schools, we didn't have as many Spanish-speaking students at the time, so I sort of lost the ability to converse in Spanish. You know, it's like math. If you don't use it, you lose it.
Yes.
So when I got down to Honduras, I thought, oh, great, I can brush up on my Spanish. Well, I did okay for a few times. And once I said something and everybody around started laughing, and I said, what did I say? My interpreter would usually tell me what I said wrong, why they were getting a kick out of it. But there was one time I said something and he would never tell me what I said.
Oh, no.
I
oh, my
still
goodness.
don't know. I just said apologize to them in your language so they know if I said something that I shouldn't. I didn't know I was doing it.
Yes. What did you teach? What did you
Oh,
teach?
gosh, everything. I took K through 12 music, and then I got my K through 8 a curriculum certification. That was another 30 hours after I graduated with 156 semester hours.
Wait, you
from
got a
Sanford.
bachelor's degree with 156 hours?
Well, when you add education to it, you know, it adds more hours to your degree. So
Yeah,
'cause
oh, because
I
the
did music
plus
education at
almost like a
Sanford.
double major. Yeah.
I guess, kind of.
Yeah, like you had enough for a music major
And in
by
education.
itself, and then also you had,
Then I wanted to do the education too, you know, so I
Yes.
could teach.
Right.
Yeah. And
Not all schools have great music programs. You know, there's.
yeah.
It's interesting how a lot of the schools have cut the arts.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. Then so to teach, because I was teaching music in Amarillo when I first got married, and I had to teach one class of science. Going to a liberal arts university, I had lots of courses outside of music, you know, sciences and that
And
extra.
where'd you go to college?
To Sanford University in Birmingham. It's a
We-
Baptist university.
Samford.
SAM, Samford.
Because we're north. I mean, I know it's because she says Sanford.
Yes.
Sanford, right?
Sam. One of Helena's, someone from Branson,
Sanford.
goes to Samford. One of the little
Oh.
girls that Helena used to dance with. She goes to Samford. I think she's a senior or could be graduating this year.
One
But
of the
it's a-
most beautiful campuses
I
in
saw
the world.
pictures of it.
Yes, beautiful.
I know.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So, okay, so then you were teaching both science, music. You taught what you needed to teach.
In Amarillo, Texas, where I lived for 11 years, and where both of my children were born. I married a Texan, and
Okay.
and then we moved to Oklahoma City, and I taught all science there.
Oh,
It,
dear.
except for two, I had 5 classes of science, and we had 7 classes a day, and we had 2 extra classes in the afternoon, and the kids would rotate from teacher to teacher, and they let me create my own fine arts program. And I wrote my own curriculum for those 2 hours, and I was determined those kids were going to learn to appreciate classical music.
Yes.
So I would tell them these awesome stories about these kids and things that they would do and experiences they had. And then at the end, I would tell them I was talking about Mozart or Beethoven or Bach or something, you know, and play the music for them.
Yes.
Yeah, we had more fun. And it was great because I could do what I wanted to with them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to go to now how Peggy and I and Jeff met. Okay, first I want to hear your story. Peggy is Miss Senior Missouri 2002. Share a little bit about the Senior America organization and then how you got into it.
Okay. Yes, you have to be over 60 to be in it. That's why it's called Senior America. And you're judged in 4 categories. You're judged in evening gown and philosophy. and then you have a private interview with the judges, and then you're judged on your talent. That was my favorite part.
Yes, yes. Okay.
Always.
Because you
What
had
did you
it.
do? What did you do for your talent?
Well,
what songs?
I had to decide what I wanted to do.
Yeah, because you sing and play the piano and play all these other instruments.
And do I play classical where I have to practice every day and wonder where I'm going to find a piano at the wherever you're going?
Yes.
I said, no, they will appreciate that some. You get a little polite applause. And or I could have done one of my hymn arrangements or something. But then I thought, no, I'm going to do something fun, something that's very audience entertaining.
Yes.
So I put together a medley of 3 old songs, Ain't She Sweet, 5'2",
I love
and
it.
Won't You Come Home, Bill Bailey.
Oh, I do that show, Won't You Come Home, Bill Bailey, in my show, and I say it's my country. It was going to be my country medley, but it sounds Broadway. And guess what?
Let's hear a little of Bill
Well,
Bailey.
guess what? I'm going to share a little trivia about Bill Bailey. Sarah Vaughan did it. as
Wait, whoa,
a-
time out.
Yes, about the
Pe-
song Bill Bailey, not
Peggy,
the person Bill Bailey.
She got this one country song that she sings. Now all of a sudden you're an authority. She's a total Broadway baby. Okay, tell us,
We have
Ellie
2
Mae.
more weeks left of our show, Broadway Hollywood Christmas at the Hot Hits Theater, and we have Saturday at 5 and Sunday at 2. And we did 10 weeks.
Correct
this
her if
summer.
she's wrong, by the way, because
Okay,
this is
you
her
may-
one
you-
song that is country. Go
This
ahead.
is my country.
Gotcha.
However, we share a lot of trivia about the old Broadway classics. We share about songs that are timeless, like April Showers and Pennies from Heaven. Well, Bill Bailey, I thought Jeff said, we're in Branson, we have to put together a country medley. Well, I found that country song, Bill Bailey. However, Sarah Vaughan made it famous originally as a blues song. Then Louis Armstrong made it famous as a jazz song. And then Patsy Cline made it famous as a country song. And that was going to be my country set. However, everyone says I do it a la Broadway, but that's Bill Bailey.
So she has the Broadway
so-
version.
So I do the Broadway version. So you have to come see the show, Hot Hits Theater. We're doing 2 more weekends, Saturday at 5 and Sunday at 2, Hot Hits Theater. And the Platters are there, the Doo-Ups are there, and I told them we would
Yeah,
talk
because you
about
do
their
Bill
show.
Bailey with tap dance, right?
And I tap it. I
She
do.
taps
I
the
tap
Billy-
and do
Bill
Chelsea.
Bailey.
So anyway, 5'2", I love that song. And Bill Bailey and
Ain't She Sweet.
Ain't She Sweet.
Yeah.
Now, do you sing? Did you sing and play?
No, because that can be, very disastrous at times. If you're trying to do that, if the mics aren't just right, and
Yes.
you're so limited, you have to keep your mouth right here,
Yes,
when you're
exactly,
singing. And I
exactly.
like to play with the audience when I'm
Yes,
singing, eye
exactly.
contact and
Okay.
not have to keep facing the microphone.
Right. Okay. So you did that,
Yeah.
and that was your talent. And then, do you remember your philosophy?
Oh my goodness, not right now. I haven't
what
refreshed
was your?
it.
Do you have your theme, like about your philosophy?
Well,
Do
I
you
talked
remember?
about 3 important things in my life: my Christianity, my family, and my sharing my musical talent. Those were the 3 themes I tried to
Okay. Yeah.
address.
It's interesting because I had my philosophy. I got it in a dream.
Oh,
The night before, I called Susan Pellegrino. Hello, Susan. Susan and Helene were the directors. And the night before I called her, I had heard I needed a philosophy. So I received my philosophy in a dream. And it was like 3 or 4 in the morning. And I did my stopwatch. And it was 34 seconds. And the next morning when I woke up, I remembered it.
that's interesting.
Is that
Yeah, the
something?
philosophy can only be 35 seconds. And if you go over, for each second you go over, they take points off.
Yes,
So
and-
you have to be.
Peggy, I want to ask you something. You have
This Peggy? I'm Peg. That Peggy.
your Peg.
Yes, I'm
Today
Peg.
you're our only Peg.
I'm Peg. She's Peggy.
I was doing my job.
real
Peggy,
thing.
Peggy.
The real
Peggy
thing.
Shores. Okay, so you don't have it exactly memorized. So you have the theme. It's your Christianity, your family, and your
My
music?
musical
Okay.
talent.
I'm going to throw this is called open-ended. So
For a reason.
what pops into your head, gestalt, confusion, whatever. Highlight, lowlight, and unique in your life that pops into your head that might have something to do with family,
Faith,
faith,
and music.
and music. What? Just
Gosh, all 3 of those
free,
go together.
free association.
Yeah, they go
Well,
together in my
G-
family
give us
because
a couple of things that jump in your.
I grew up in a Christian home, and that, of course, established my Christian faith and all there. And we always had music in our homes. And my family, of course, is so important. They were always singing with me. And so, there are three things together there. And, of course, when I was in high school, I wanted to major in 4 different things: math, science, music, and physical education.
Oh, gee, that covers it all.
I had to decide.
Well, that's why you became a elementary education music teacher who taught science.
Yes, and then I got my
She's really
secondary.
smart.
I went ahead and got my secondary math certification, another 30 hours, because I wanted to teach algebra so much. So,
But isn't it true that
Algebra.
most musicians are mathematicians? Jeff's mother, who was a
Yes.
musician, majored in math, and many musicians were really good in math.
Yes,
But
they
also,
are.
her college, this was in the late 40s, right after World War II. Oh, no, during World War II, she started college. And they didn't have a psychology major. It was St. Joseph's College for Women at the time. And so that's why she majored in math. She went to Columbia University for a master's in psychology. But
It's interesting that it could be
Yeah.
the correlation, because music you think of as the arts.
Right,
But
right.
it's
As
not
musicians,
as
very much.
esoteric. I mean,
Yeah.
it is mathematical in many ways.
Yes.
It's very technical.
a lot of
So-
my best math students, when I was teaching math, were also in band, orchestra,
Yes,
and
yes.
studied piano. It really goes hand in hand. Well, the music, I read somewhere, I wish I could remember all the details, but just the touch of through the fingers, what it sends to your brain. Why that's so wonderful. And on piano, you're doing a lot of finger touching,
Yes,
all the time.
yes.
Really stimulates the brain.
So-
Makes you smarter, to be.
Yes, that's why
That's
Helena
what I like to
always
tell
took.
people.
Helena, and then she was very good at math and science. Okay, so who told you about the pageant? How'd you find out about the pageant?
Well, I have a friend, Jerry Campbell in Baldwin. She was another pianist at my church, and we both grew up playing Southern gospel music. She grew up in Tennessee. I grew up in Alabama. We had this sort of the same background, and so we would do dueling. I call it the dueling piano show. 4 hands on piano, and then we would each do. Piano solo, and then we do 2 pianos together, and we do all kinds of music that way. But she saw the pageant in the newspaper, and she said, "Peggy, I found something I want you to do. I never heard of the pageant." She said, "This is just you, and I want you to do this." And she told me it was the Miss Missouri pageant. I said, "Oh, my pageant days are over, girls. I don't have time for that."
Oh, you
know.
had done pageants before?
Well, when I was in college, I was in the Miss Alabama, and yeah.
there.
did it
Oh,
help
did
with
you know that,
scholarship?
Peg?
No, I did not. Did it help with scholarship money? Yeah.
Yes, it
There you
did.
go.
Yes, it was
Big
nice.
scholarship. Big. Helena's on a full ride. Missouri's outstanding teen.
Oh,
So
no,
very,
that's
very
wonderful.
big outreach and service. They're a wonderful
So
organization.
you're talking, it was like a
So-
40-year gap at this point between
Yes.
when you first did.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
And so I said, I don't have time for this. My schedule was
Yes.
way too busy because it does take a
Oh,
lot of time.
yes. A lot of
And she ke-
appearances
Yeah. And she kept on, and I would just put her off. And then one day, she and a group of friends circled me at church, wouldn't let me out, told them I would try out for this pageant. And so I called John Dawes. I said, well, I'll call him and just ask for an application, and maybe they won't choose me, and I won't have to do
Yeah,
it. And
you
I'll
have
be
to go
done
through
with it.
the initial
Yeah,
interview.
right. So I called John Dawes, who was director at the time, and I said, I told her who I was and asked if I could have an application. She says, "Oh, we don't do it that way. You have to come in and we interview
Yes,
you."
yes.
So they reel you in that way,
Yes.
So I went in and met them, and and of course they invited me to be in the pageant, and that was it. So, and
then
I'm
you
so
won.
glad that,
And you
that they
won.
did.
And
Yeah.
the opportunity to make
Yes.
appearances, children's hospitals, veterans events,
Yeah.
parades.
So it was
all
no
of that.
stress for you.
No, That's
What-
that's why I chose to do something fun where I wouldn't have to worry about practicing, and
Yes,
I could
yes.
just have fun.
Yes.
doing it.
You know what? When you're called to do something, there's a joy in it. It's a blessing, not a burden. That's how I felt.
right.
Okay, so now I have to share how I got into the pageant.
Right.
Okay, long story short, Helena was giving up her crown as Junior Miss Missouri, and Mary
That's
McIntyre.
before she competed for Miss Missouri's
Missouri's
Outstanding
Outstanding
Teen.
Teen, yes.
Miss America, what's it called? Missouri, what is it? What
Miss
was it?
Missouri's
Actually, because she always
outstanding.
corrects us. It's so
Miss
specific.
Missouri's outstanding
Miss America's.
teen. Yeah, Miss Missouri's outstanding teen. Miss America's outstanding teen. Ours is Miss Senior America, Miss Senior Missouri. But she was giving up Junior Miss Branson, Junior Miss Missouri
an earlier
for
crown that
state.
she had, yeah.
And Mary McIntyre,
Macintosh.
that's another person, friend of ours, was a judge, and everyone was congratulating her. And I said, "Oh, what is that?" And she said, "Oh, I'm Senior Missouri, Miss Senior Missouri." And I hadn't told my age in over 40 years, and something inside.
Because she was a professional actress
Yeah.
all the way back to her teen years, and her agents were literally telling her to lie
Yes.
about her age when she was still a teenager.
Yeah, like 19, say you're 16, 23, 19, so I just stopped telling. So I knew, you know how some things in life, you just, when I said, tell me about it, my mother still sings and dances, but I knew I was going to have to do it. And she told me, and I went home that night, and I said, Lord, if I don't even know if I told Jeff then, because I didn't want to tell anyone because they may make me do it. And I said, if I'm supposed to do this, let me meet up with someone from Missouri involved with the pageant. Okay,
The Fleece.
fast forward like 5 months, I did the Broadway show Grease, and we were having a reunion in New York. Or Tom
You
Moore
had
was,
done. You had done
yes,
Grease. yeah.
Tom was Tom Moore, the director, had a documentary. We were invited to events in New York. Jeff and Mom saw in the paper they were doing Ms. Senior America in Atlantic City
Finals.
finals. We went. We were talking to some friends we had met there in New York. Miss Peggy Shores, this wonderful Christian lady, was eavesdropping on our conversation.
At the
She-
competition.
and she heard that we said we were living in Branson, Missouri, and what happened?
Yes.
Do you remember?
Well, I have to give a little
Go ahead.
background.
Go ahead.
For the two preliminary programs, the 2 days before the pageant, I was sitting in a certain seat. I just go every day, take that seat because I could see and hear everything. And the third day on the finals, when I went in, all the seats on that row were taken except for one right down behind the judges. And one of my friends said, "We moved you down today. Do you mind sitting?" I said, "No, just as long as I can see." So I was right behind this judge, and that's the man that Peg was talking with. And I wasn't trying to eavesdrop, but I did over here. When I heard the word Missouri and Branson, then I said, well, I'm going to have to talk with them after this. So when they finished talking with the judge, who had judged you
No,
years
he
ago?
didn't judge. Oh, yes, but he
Years
decided
ago.
when he knew I was going in it, he called Betsy and Al and said, I cannot judge this year. God rest Jim. Jim passed away.
I know.
He said, I can't judge because I know who's
Yeah.
going to win. He told me that months later.
Oh.
So, but
Well, I
I
knew
was,
you were going to win, too. I told Al ahead of time. But anyway,
I'll
and
just-
I told
did.
Susan ahead of time. But didn't he judge you in a Miss
Oh, yes.
Staten Island
When I was
pageant?
18 and 19 years
When she
old,
was
he
a
was the
teenager.
director
Oh,
of the
okay.
Miss Staten Island pageant.
Yeah.
And I was in
Right.
both of those, first runner-up both. I didn't win, pageants done, moved on with life.
But
Yeah.
Jim
Never,
was
ever
still
thought.
in charge of Staten Island and New
Yes.
York State sometimes
Yes,
for
yes.
pageants. Yeah.
But he was the one that they were talking to, and he was the one I was sitting behind. And her. So then I went down and introduced myself to Peg and Jeff, and told them I'd heard about Branson. I said I go down to Branson a lot, and
And
told
this
her-
lovely lady comes up to us and says, "Hi, I was Miss Missouri."
They
and I'm
start
like,
talking as
"What?"
I'm still talking to Jim
I
Smith.
mean, I know Missouri is
they're-
not like, yo, what's up, New York, but she didn't sound like she was from Missouri. I was very confused. Sounded like she's like
Lovely
deep south.
Southern
I'm really
accent.
the whole thing. I'm confused. This person sounded like she's from. You know me. I don't know.
They
Is it
were
Mississippi,
plotting.
Alabama, something
Yes.
way down Georgia, something like that.
They were plotting because I was talking to Jim. They were plotting. I
Who is
turned
this
around,
person?
right? You
Very
two
dicey.
plotted
yes.
before
Yeah,
I even.
that's right.
You did,
Yeah,
and I
something
turned
like that.
around. Jim had to go do something, and then and you both said you're going in the pageant, and
Yes.
that was a divine connection because Peg did. You did musical direction. You played the piano for the pageant. She was heavy involved in Miss Senior Missouri. So it was kind of like a God thing. Like you were placed in this position to be. And I went, oh, Lord, this woman's from Missouri. We are in Atlantic City and in New Jersey. And here we meet someone who's strategic in the Ms. Missouri Senior Pageant.
All because I lost my seat that day.
Someone
So
you were placed. You were like transplanted.
So the
Yes, right behind the
fleece
judge.
was answered.
Not that you do that, but that was a private little prayer. I said, Lord,
Peg needed that.
if I'm supposed to be in this, then let me meet someone from Missouri who's involved with the pageant. Because I didn't know anything.
My
hadn't
family
seen
did not
Mary
know
again.
Peggy's age about 10 years into our marriage. They still didn't know how old she
Yeah,
was.
I was
I should say how young she
set
was.
free because we are. What are we? Are we timeless? That's what
Definitely,
we say in
definitely.
Senior America. We are timeless, but we're all timeless. If we live on to eternity, this is a short period
Right.
here, and we live on eternally, right?
oh yes, for sure.
So Peggy and I got to know each other through the pageant,
yeah.
and she plays the piano everywhere in appearances. She sings and plays the piano.
Yes,
So
and we're
that-
not getting to do as many right now because
Not
of the
because-
COVID, and I miss it so much. I
know.
miss my ladies.
It's a different
Yeah.
world, but
It-
we're still here.
Every time we do the show, I just say, I've seen it since 2002, and I never get tired of it. You know, all the queens doing
Yes.
their thing.
And you know what?
yeah.
It's inspirational because life is about service, isn't it?
Mhm.
And as you give, it's given back. It's like we're conduits, and that's what God wants us to be. And then you're always growing and evolving, and kind of, as we say, what do you say about the Senior America pageant?
It's a pageant for survivors and thrivers.
That's right.
good?
Yes, and it takes a certain personality to be in it. You know what I mean? Don't you think so?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I definitely consider it a love fest, and it's an amazing, just a support group for
Support group.
women and
Celebrate
and
each
their
other.
spouses and friends. But it's kind of it sheds light into this. My mom went to Catholic girls' school. Peggy went to Catholic girls' school, and you went. Sanford was that?
It was a Baptist university.
but it was
Yeah,
male.
We
Baptist.
love Baptist.
It was co-ed.
Oh yes,
Okay.
definitely. Yeah.
But
Thank you,
the-
Dr. Al Martin Betsy, who started it. God
Uh-huh.
bless them.
Yes.
He felt the need to reach out to seniors over 40 years ago.
Well, he saw all those women in their older ages who were still so talented and vibrant, and there was no venue at times for them to show their talents and all. And he wanted a place for them to perform
yeah.
and still be able to entertain people with their talents. And we go, like you said, to nursing homes and so forth. And so many people tell you that it takes them back to their childhood. That my mother played the piano like that, or I used to play like that, or I used to sing or dance. And it brings, especially if they have dementia, they can't remember things they do now, but they are taken back to their childhood and early days through that. And it's so wonderful to see that. And I tell the girls in the club, I say, you know, the only difference in us and them is our health. Because, you know, they're in wheelchairs, some of them are. And we're so fortunate to be healthy and still able to do.
Amen. Okay. We asked, what's your favorite quote or scripture, if you have one?
Well, I love the John 14,
okay.
in my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would not have told you. And if I go there, I bring you there, you know, to be with you. I'm sort of paraphrasing here, but I love that because I think of the mansions there and, you know, our future home. And I just say, just give me a 9-foot Steinway Grand in mine.
You're going to have a Dino. You know Dino?
Oh, yeah.
Kartsinakis.
Yes,
Uh-huh,
he actually
yes.
is in Branson, but he's moving to Nashville, or already did. But he has the bedazzled
Oh,
piano.
yes.
You will have real diamonds on your piano.
I hope.
Yes,
How
you
long
will.
has that
I
been
don't
your favorite
care.
scripture?
Oh, I love
Since
that.
you turned 80?
She must love beautiful homes.
So,
Wait
Right.
for the mansion. That's exciting.
Well, I
Hope of
heard.
glory.
Oh,
I never
yeah.
heard that.
And yeah, I've had that dream for 2 years now, since I'm 82 now. And my sister doesn't like me to tell my age because she's. Ooh,
I know.
Gail, I'm sorry. She's a year younger than I am, and that lets people know how
I
old
know.
she is.
Oh, I
She
know.
always gets on to me.
I
said,
know.
"Well, I know I like to tell my age now because I love to
still
hear
here.
people say, "Oh, there's no way you can be
Yeah,
82.
that's what you're still doing.
You
what
don't
you
look
do. You drive. You inspire me. Oh my goodness. You know, that's so interesting how everyone has this specific scripture that they can identify with. Like mine was Daniel 12:3-4. I found it in L.A. as a young actress. Those who are wise, the people of God, will shine as brightly as the sun's brilliance. Those who turn others to righteousness will glitter like stars forever. Because being an actress, it's like everyone wants to be the star, and God gave that to me early in my L.A. days. So yours is that diamond piano in heaven. What's yours?
I think I
That's
know
I
you
hit
do
my
that to me.
husband. What's yours?
There's one in Romans 8:28, and there's also I think 1 Corinthians 5:17 about those who are in Christ are new creations. All things have become new. And I don't have it verbatim because you threw me off my mark. It's making me
Yes,
nervous.
same here.
Peggy, is there any question you want to ask
Us.
Peggy? My Peg.
Ask Jeff, since he
My
just
Peg or
puts.
me. Yeah. Is there
Okay.
anything you'd like to have answered or a question that pops in your head?
Well, I have heard a little bit about how the two of you met, but tell me exactly how you met, Peg. Was it doing Grease? Were you in Grease together?
No, we
was
were
in
both
Grease
in Grease
separately.
separately. She was in
Oh.
Grease on Broadway, and I was in Grease in a rinky-dink bus and truck.
But it was an equity
But I played
company,
Danny
and
Zuko,
he
and
played
she
the
played
lead.
Frenchie. I got that going
He
for me.
played the lead, so he's, as
So-
we joke, Jeff is the most unfamous Danny Zuko. I worked with Patrick
Yeah, she worked-
Swayze, Peter Gallagher,
Treat
Adrian
Williams.
Stead.
Right.
But Jeff,
John
his
Travolta
mother
hung
said
out with
he
John
was
Travolta,
fabulous.
and I
His mother said he was fabulous.
was also
I
Danny
didn't
Zuko
see
that most people haven't heard of it besides my family. My mom said I was really good, though. So Peggy always likes to
that.
remind
Yes,
me. So,
yes.
yeah, we met in 1988, 2 blocks from where she won Miss Senior America
Is that
at the
wild?
Claridge Hotel.
Oh.
First day of rehearsal for a show called Applause, which is the musical version of All About Eve.
With
that
Phyllis
starred
McGuire.
the movie starred Betty Davis.
No, Lauren Bacall.
Was it,
Oh,
who
no.
was
No, Betty Davis. Lauren Bacall did the Broadway show, and we did it with Phyllis McGuire. And what did Phyllis McGuire sing? Do you know? Do you remember? Don't sit under the
Apple
apple
tree.
tree.
Yeah.
with
Anyone else but me.
Anyone else but me. Anyone else but me.
Well, no, don't sit under the apple tree with anyone else but me.
Till I come marching home.
There you go.
Yes, there you go. And guess what? I think we have to end with a song. Peggy,
Is it
do you have
over?
yes? Do you have any parting words you'd like to share? A minute, and we'll get our song hooked up.
Well, just stay vibrant, stay healthy, keep your body moving.
Yes, yes.
And I think that's one reason that I'm as healthy as I am now, because I've always moved all my life.
Wow,
I've
and
never,
you said a quick one. You said physical education as well. So what
yeah.
kind of
I was
athletic
always
or
good
did-
at sports, and
You
I
were?
so I
Okay.
coached the soccer team to the state day of champions in Oklahoma City.
Oh my gosh!
And I sort of got my physical education in there.
Oh my word! I did not know that. All right, so here we are. We're going to end with a happy, happy song. Here you go. And I think our audience should know this so they can sing along with us. Okay. I have it. I had it right here.
Which one was it?
Oh, got it. Here we go. Okay, let's go. Jeff's going to plug it in. Thank you, Peggy, for being
thank
with us.
you.
We could go on and on, but you sing with us.
Dashing
through the
snow
in a one-horse open sleigh,
o'er the fields we go,
laughing all the way.
bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright.
What fun it is to ride and
Sing a sleighing song tonight.
Oh,
Jingle bells,
Jingle all the way.
oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Dashing through the snow
In a one-horse open sleigh,
O'er the fields we go.
laughing all the way.
bells on bobtails ring,
Making spirits bright.
what fun it is to
Ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride